Happy Thursday, guys. Welcome to PuckTime on WagerTalk TV. Andrew McInnis, Carmine Bianco, Don Buster, and Bryan Leonard. We have a big show and a big slate here on a Thursday to get to. And I like this slate here, guys. I like this board. Hope you guys all had a profitable and fun Wednesday night betting the NHL. Some good games in the NHL last night. Actually, also a good night for some props last night. A couple of those games had a decent number of goals, but also the big-time players all showed up for their respective teams. So overall, a really, really good day yesterday, and we'll try and move on to today. We got football today. We got college games today, and we got, of course, a big NHL slate. I know Carmine is ready today with not just hockey, with soccer plays, and I don't know, maybe football as well. Let's bring him in. What's up, Carm?
What's going on, Andrew? Finally, a good 13 game card on the NHL schedule as they cram these games in. But yeah, we got a lot to talk about. Tampa Bay and New Jersey. You and I are going to break that down. Then we'll bring in the man from the South, Don Buster, to do St. Louis and Nashville. You and I, Montreal Canadiens and Pittsburgh, your favorite team and your favorite player on two opposite sides. Sid the Kid, who's the bobblehead right behind me. San Jose and Toronto. Bryan Leonard's going to come in and do that one. Bryan Leonard's coming to Toronto next year. God bless him, man. I talked to him last night on the phone. Love the fact he's coming to Toronto to visit, not to live. Vegas and Philly. We'll keep Bryan around for a little bit. Let's see if he wants to discuss the fact that Carter Hart could be making a start against his former team in Philadelphia tonight. Same game parlay and a pod. And with that said, we got a lot to cover. So, Andrew, let's do it, man. Tampa Bay, minus 135. New Jersey, plus 115. Total sits here at 6. I just saw, and I'm guessing it probably trended overnight. Timo Meier, away from the team, personal leave of absence. It says something to do with family health. So hopefully everybody in that family is well or is going to be okay. But you know that those are always tough on a team when a player leaves for something other than an injury, leaves for family issues. These guys are a tight-knit family in New Jersey. Do you think that affects them at all going into this one?
Yeah, I think he's a very underrated player in the league overall. I think it is. And of course, one of your teammates is going through something. One of your teammates is struggling a bit. It can be a distraction. It can kind of hurt the team. One thing I'll say of this Tampa Bay Lightning team, what does this make it, Carm? The fourth game of the road trip here. But the funny thing is, two of those three games have not looked good at all, right? So, we can talk about the road trip, we can talk about the travel, but at the same time, if you got shut out in two of the first three games of your road trip, not to mention they had, injuries to deal with Hedman, with Kucherov, Vasilevsky was even questionable in some of those games. So I like Tampa here, man. And it's not fully just because of Timo Meier being out, but it's mostly a momentum-based thing, right? Like you look at Tampa Bay, they lost against the Leafs. They lost against the Islanders, lost against the Penguins, lost against the Islanders again. They were on a little bit of a losing streak. And it's kind of like when a team is on a winning streak, you don't really think that winning streak is over until they lose two. Well, I think that once this losing streak was snapped for the Tampa Bay Lightning, they're going to go back on a little bit of a run here. So momentum's on their side. And honestly, Carm, I know that I bashed the Maple Leafs, but at the end of the day, I thought that the Lightning deserved a lot better fate in that game. Dennis Hildeby played very well. So they've actually strung together some really good offensive games in a row. They just happen to run into some hot goaltenders. So I do lean towards the Tampa side. What do you think? Do the Devils rally behind their player being out, or is it a good spot for Tampa?
Yeah, you really do bash the Leafs a lot. You need to be a little more neutral like I am. I'm very rarely hard on the Leafs myself. I say that tongue in cheek. It's a tough one. It is a tough one from a betting perspective. If anyone can find a reason to want to or not a reason to want to play this game, but a reason that you feel it is a strong play, then, God bless you. Obviously, the goaltending issues for Tampa come into this. But the Devils, we talk about the Devils had just a phenomenal start to the season. I think they went like 9-0-1 or something like that in their first 10 games. at home, but they've lost 4 straight games on home ice. 5-3 to the Devils, 5-3 to Columbus, 3-0 to Dallas, and 3-0 to the Vegas Golden Knights. They've been shut out in back-to-back games, Andrew, and now they get a Tampa Bay team that, as you mentioned, haven't been scoring a lot of goals. I'm seeing that Hedman is back on the questionable list for tonight, so I don't know whether he's in the lineup or not. He did play the last game, I believe, and of course,
he left the game early.
I faded. Of course, I faded Tampa Bay in the one game in which they played absolutely lights out against the Montreal Canadiens. That was a disaster on my part. But with that said, I look at these two teams, and I think New Jersey, once they get healthy and get Jack Hughes, is a big part of that team. It is hard to believe that one player can make that much of a difference, and it's not just him, but he is a big part of that team. And now Timo Meier missing as well too, a couple guys who are big in the dressing room as well too, as leaders. And with those guys out of the lineup, it's probably at the height of what I want to lay. And this is something we can talk to Bryan about, but is 135 on Tampa Bay the ceiling of what you want to lay in a game on the road against a New Jersey team that's been shut out in back-to-back games at home, and you know that they're going to be better? I think it is the height of where I want to go. The total of 6, I am not even going to touch that. It feels like a 4-2 game to me that lands on the total. If you like the over, you just wait, kind of like what I mentioned previously. Wait the first 3 or 4 minutes of the game, watch it drop to 5.5, and then bet it in game if you like the over, and just hope for no goals. There's ways for it to still get there, kind of like the Anaheim and Pittsburgh game, where Anaheim scored with a 1.1 seconds left on the clock to officially make that an over. So with that said, Tampa Bay for me, Andrew. So we're kind of mano a mano at this one. The good news is
I'm on Tampa. I'm on Tampa.
Oh, okay. I was going to say the good news is one of us is going to be right tomorrow.
No, I like
so
Tampa.
Only one of us will get a tough time in the in the chat afterwards, or the comment section. But God bless you guys. Hit that like button, guys. We really appreciate you guys tuning in each and every day. Steve, OG Hater, Hal, UC Panda, who's here as well too. Hit that like button, guys. Do us a favor, and if you haven't already done so, hit the subscribe button. Because if you hit the subscribe button, you get to see this guy come on at least once a week. Don Buster. Let's bring him in, Andrew.
What's up, Buster?
Look at the smile on his. He's no longer in a holding cell. Look at him. He is almost home. Almost home.
Almost. Maybe next week I'll bring out the Mexican blanket. We'll see.
Oh God.
Well, it'll be a surprise for Carmine. That's all. but
Buster,
I did
picked
say
a
I'm
great game.
Behave. Well,
dude,
somebody's got to play
game.
these types of games. That's all.
I like it. It's kind of like what Bryan says. When Bryan comes on, he's like, I'm going to do the game nobody wants to do. And he always has a very good breakdown of it. And I expect you're going to be the exact same way. Nashville, -124. St. Louis, +102. Total sits here at 6. Buster, tell us where you're going with this one.
Yeah, this is going to be the first game of 4 between these clubs this season. But what I find interesting, by New Year's Day, they'll already play 3 games. So this is one of these spots where I know we all look ahead, we all keep scheduling stuff, and that's what we're trying to, help the people that are watch the show, the people to learn more about how to bet hockey. This is a perfect example of what you do. Keep a track of these 3 games that are going to happen in the next 30 days, and maybe by that 3rd game, you might have yourself a nice little Christmas present lined up for yourself. Something else that I find interesting here is that St. Louis just came home from a 3-game road trip, played 1 game, and now they got to go to Nashville for just 1 road game, and then they're back home for 4 more games at home. But they play right away tomorrow, and they play the Blackhawks, which is a rival of theirs. So if you ask me, the scheduler did not do this club any favors whatsoever at all. And now they also play a Nashville team that's been playing decent hockey. Nashville's 5-2 their last 7 games. And St. Louis, they've been kind of up and down. They're 2-3 in their last 5. I do lean Nashville here. It is a little bit of a coin flip as we see it's a 115. But I do like, and I haven't played it yet, but I do like the over because it's, I know you said it was 6 there, Carmine, but right now, just about maybe 10 minutes before the show started, you can still get 5.5, but it's over 35 at DraftKings and FanDuel. So you can still get that. That 35 is a little too high for me. I like to play it maybe over 25, but there's a lot of 6 under 15, 6 under 20s, and a bunch of the markets. So I will wait to play that over 5.5. I think it will come down. So what we have here is a Nashville who actually are playing way more offensively this year. I think there's numerous times I came on the show last year saying that, with all that firepower that they had, that they should be playing more offensively, and they just played a lot of 1-0, 2-1 games, and actually Saros stood on his head, and they still were losing games. He's not doing that much of standing on his head. They're actually playing more overs. In fact, Nashville are 7-1 to the over in their last 8 games. And they were at home, they're 4-1 the last 5 over. Funny thing here, too, when these clubs get together, I have said they didn't play this year, but, sometimes it's horses for courses, as I like to say. These teams get together, 12-4 to the over, last 16. That's kind of interesting. There have been a couple unders lately, but and there is no doubt St. Louis is more of an under team. But we believe the spot, like just the way the spot sets up for St. Louis here, it might hurt them defensively. They're looking ahead to that Chicago game for sure. They got screwed over having to come out and play one road game and then go right back home. So the spot tells me maybe that St. Louis isn't going to be as defensive-minded as they normally would be. Now, in saying that, St. Louis actually have gone 3-1 to the over the last 4. So, like I say, I'm going to wait to get the 5.5 over 25. I'm hoping that will come out. It might be almost there now because of the 6s, but will not blame anybody who wants to bet Nashville tonight because I think it is a bad spot for St. Louis. But I like the over 5.5 a little bit more.
Yeah, Buster, I agree with you. It should be Binnington and Saros. Someone mentioned that Nashville played last night. They didn't actually play last night. The last time these teams, either one of these teams played, both of them played on the 9th, which was Tuesday on that huge slate. So neither team is on the second of a back-to-back here. But you're completely right. It has been a horrendous, maybe horrendous is a little too rough, but it has been a bad scheduling spot for the St. Louis Blues coming back from a road trip. Pretty much every single one of their games has had travel over the last 5 games. I think tonight's their 5th game in 8 nights. So we'll see how they respond to tonight's game and whether they're a little, as you say, loosey-goosey and we see some goals. Nashville has generated 12.66 XG over the last 4 games, which isn't bad. We saw this spurt from Nashville a little earlier this season where they looked horrendous and then they started to score some goals and it looked like they might have turned the corner, and then they went back to looking like the pathetic Nashville Predators. And that's not a slight on the team. It's just they weren't scoring goals. And it's a team with, Marchessault and Stamkos, guys who they brought in who were expected to score some goals, Andrew. So with that said, Buster, tell us you have a big night planned tonight in the NHL. Promote yourself, my friend.
Yes, I do, Carmine. I have a big 5% NHL package going tonight. We're hitting quite well with 5% plays in the NHL. 83%, 10-2-2 in our last 14 with 5% NHL plays. And on the site, we are number 1 in 5% plays with win percentage and ROI on this season. So we do pick our spots with these 5% plays. Found a real good one, I think, tonight. And you can get that over at the site. Go to Don Buster and get that play. But don't be paying $35 for it, because we have that great 3-day NHL All Access for only $49. So you can get that play, a few more of my plays that I'll have in the NHL tonight. Now, I know Friday there's only 2 games. I probably will only have 1 play. But Saturday we've got 13 games, big card, lots going on there. So the deal is to get the 3-day All Access pass for only $49, and you'll be glad you did. So as always, thanks guys for having me on. Much appreciated.
Buster, and that's and to let you guys know, that's a 3-day NHL All Access.
Yes.
That's the.
Sorry, did I not say that?
So the customer service doesn't get it. And Buster, I would think because you're such a great guy, the great thing for you to do is completely pass on the Friday card, which extends that 3-day package to Saturday, and then they get your full NHL card on Saturday, where there's like 13 games. Like,
I thought they would get it.
Should be doing.
They would get it anyway. So what you're saying, what the idea is, actually, that's a good idea. So all of us handicappers should get. That's what we should have. Saturday, Sunday. That's right.
Yeah. There you go. God bless you.
Okay, I am going to pass on Friday. There's only 2 games. I don't want to even look at them at all. How's that?
You'll be in the live chat giving out your play for free. How's that?
There you go. There you go. For sure.
See, look
always
at this guy,
thinking, Carmine. Always thinking. I like that.
He is such a blessing, this guy. Look at him. Look at that smile on his face. Always happy. Dude, I am going, as an aside and not hockey related, Friday night, dinner at Lord Nelson's with your good buddy, Rob Braley. He already called me and asked me, which risotto do you want the chef to make? And I told him the roasted red pepper risotto. So
that's the best move, Carmine. That stuff is unbelievable. Yeah, that definitely the move. I sometimes get the mushroom risotto.
All right, dude. With that said, listen, have a great night in the NHL, and I'll go back to Andrew.
Buster, I didn't get to talk to you very much in this segment, but it's always good to see you.
Chat, man.
I didn't get.
You guys should actually chat about the Montreal Canadiens.
I didn't get to get my words in here, Buster, but I always love to chat with you, brother. So good breakdown. And you know what? I think those 2 teams you mentioned there, those 2 teams are pretty much competing for who's not going to be the seller at the deadline. Like both those teams have potential to be sellers.
Yeah,
so
probably,
we'll see what ends up happening. Yeah. It's like the battle of who's not going to be the shittiest in their division.
Have to watch that game tonight with our new man in net. So we'll see how he does.
Yep. Looking forward to it. It's probably 80% sure he's starting. They just didn't want to say anything. So looking forward to it. All right, Buster, take care, brother.
Okay. Take care, guys. Have a good one.
Andrew, it is your team. And you talked about it yesterday. It is you've mentioned a few times the goaltending duo, and is it Forrester? Tell us about this goalie.
Okay, so it is not 100% confirmed yet, but it is about 80% that Jacob Fowler will be starting. I don't want to put any pressure on this guy, Carm, but he might be the next Carey Price. I don't want to put any pressure on this guy or anything. But he might be the next Carey Price for the Montreal Canadiens. This guy is from Boston College. He had a lot of success there, a lot of success with Team USA at the World Juniors. And now he's been down in Laval, had a ton of success there as well. A super low goals against average, super, super high save percentage. And when you've got not 1, but 2 goaltenders on your team struggling, the way that they are with Dobish and Montembeault, it's just not acceptable. Whether it's the man-to-man system not working for them, whether they're giving up too many grade A chances, I think that's probably part of it. But overall, the goaltending just has not been good. Now, Carm, last night or 2 nights ago, the Habs started their game off by giving up 2 breakaways pretty much against the Lightning. That's not really going to help out your goaltenders very much by doing so. But when I look at this game here, first of all, I find it kind of interesting. I have to mention this. Patrick Waugh and Carey Price both made their NHL debuts against the Pittsburgh Penguins. So if you kind of want to get a little bit, not superstitious, I guess the word would be, but if you like the storylines, you're kind of interested in that here. But With Laval, Jacob Fowler this year has 3 shutouts, 2.09 goals against average, and a 919 save percentage. Carm, a lot of times teams need a way to wake up. This game started around a pick'em. It's now around minus 120. Some books are showing a little bit more on the Pittsburgh Penguins. Total at 6.5. I'm going to go with the under 6.5 here. I think that some teams need a spark. You need a wake-up call. The Montreal Canadiens have been a big-time over team this year. A lot of the Canadian teams have been. The Leafs, the Canucks, the Oilers, the Habs, the Senators. These teams have all been over teams for some reason in Canada. But I like the under here. I'm not saying that I'm expecting this guy to just be the best goalie in the world in his first game if he is making his debut tonight. What I am saying is that coaches can't fire all the players. Coaches can't send down all the players to the minor leagues. What you can do is shock the team. I think this came as a shock to the team here, Carm. So I think they're going to go and play their best defensive effort over the last few games. And also, they've got so many injuries, man. Jake Evans is now injured. You still have Kirby Dach injured. Patrick Laine is still injured. Alex Newhook is injured. We have one of the worst, and yes, I said one of the worst bottom sixes in the NHL. If someone's going to say that I don't say good enough things about my team, they currently have one of the worst bottom sixes in the whole league. Not to mention, we have been seeing a bit more defensive metrics out of the Pittsburgh Penguins. That's all I got for you, Carm, but I am very excited if this goalie is playing tonight. Very excited about that.
I'd like to see him to start. The total sits here at 6.5, and I get it with the Pittsburgh Penguin games. And I'm sure Los Kid, whether he's watching it right now live or he's watching it later, Andrew, this guy's gonna be like, Carm's gonna fade Pittsburgh again, isn't he? Like if I was ever in Pittsburgh and I saw like some guy walking towards me with a Pittsburgh jersey or whatever, and it said like Los Kid on it, I think I would cross the street and head to the other side for as many times as I have tried to fade this one. But I will say this, Andrew, to your point is, and we've seen in the NHL, when a team calls up a goalie and it's just not an emergency goalie, but a goalie who figures to be in their plans, sometimes they revert to a more defensive game to try and protect this guy, get players, get the opposition players out from in front of the net, minimize the rebounds or the chances there, keep the shots on the perimeter. And it's something you could see from the Montreal Canadiens tonight. Maybe they don't go full out, 100 miles an hour trying to skate up and down the ice, and they're just playing a much better defensive game. We'll see. We'll know in the first 20 minutes of the game whether that is the plan for this team or not. Jari is confirmed, but I like the numbers on this kid, so we'll see what he does. Plus 101 is not enough for me to take the Montreal Canadiens in this spot, but if he is in goal, I'm going to take the under. So I'm going to base it on the Montreal. This is a goalie-based play for me. If Montreal starts this rookie, I'm going to take the under in the game and expect them to play a much better defensive game. So we shall see where that goes. But with that said, no, Stevie Duke, you did not. Somebody else, I think, posted a play. I removed it. Guys, we do these shows for free. We don't force you guys into a paywall. We don't force you guys into buying plays. We do these games. We give out info, our thought process, hoping to make you guys better gamblers. We will promote ourselves towards the end of the show. And if you want to head over there and pick up plays, you can do so. But all I ask is that you don't post plays in the live chat that are plays of anybody who's on this panel. That's all I can ask you for. But speaking of plays, Andrew, before I bring on the shot of Bailey's, who's always a refreshing sight, dude, you have a 5% play tonight. Tell us about it.
Yeah, really looking forward to it, Carm. 5% play. This is something that I've actually been looking at for a couple of days now. And I know it sounds funny because I don't usually look ahead like that with schedules. I'm usually a game-by-game handicapper, but this is a play I've been looking at for a couple of days. It is a team total, and this is both a situational and a statistical matchup that I'm just a huge fan of. My favorite play on the board. You guys can get that, of course, at wt.buzz/am. My 5% best bet on the board. But why not go ahead and take advantage of this great deal? You can use it for Carmine. You can use it for myself as well, Buster or Bryan. Hat trick, all access pass. 3 days of NHL, college hockey, AHL, whatever it is we're releasing. Works out to be $16.33 per day. I know you guys said the same thing. You know, when Carmine, you had your 5% play, why spend $35? $49 is the deal for this.
Yeah.
All right. $49 for 3 days, $35 for the 5%. It's clear as day. Don't miss it, guys. This is a really, really good play. I got it up early last night, and it's my favorite play of the week so far in the NHL. So don't miss that, Carm. I'm very excited, and I think you already know what my play is. Before we bring in Bryan, I wanted to mention
I don't, but
okay.
I'm just glad that you got it up last night. Listen, apparently your segment is now sponsored by Blue Chew as well. But with
I wanted to mention
I'm sorry.
Really quick,
oh my God, I just went off on a tangent.
I love it.
I shouldn't have gone off on, but
Montreal Canadiens, Carm, 8-3 on the road and 7-8 at home. Their goal differential at home is -14. Their goal differential on the road is +2. So it's kind of funny how this young team, you'd think a young team would be better at home, but the young team has actually been much better at home or on the road for whatever reason. So something worth mentioning.
Yeah. No, definitely, Andrew. You know, it is weird that I have to keep telling people over and over again because I see some guys who post about, yes, my mind is in the gutter. I see guys who post, you know, about losing a play. And listen, we all lose them. Don't get hard on yourselves. Just get back to the grind. But when you're losing like one game in a 4-game parlay, think about it. You've hit 75% of your plays and you've lost money. This is why parlays are tough. That's the point of the pod, is to show you the grind throughout the season, Andrew. And we all have them. But it's just taking that extra step further, looking at some of these analytics sites. And we mention them. Bryan mentions them. Andrew, you mention them. I mentioned the EV Analytics, which I think is a good one as well too. But you know, Natural Stat Trick, where you can check XG goals in different situations, home and away, and see if a team is trending upwards. It is putting a little more effort into it because it's your hard-earned money. If you're not going to protect your money, then you might as well just donate it to someone, because the books aren't going to feel bad for you. But with that said, someone who always feels bad for the books, I know he does, because he lives in Vegas, it is Bryan Leonard to break down the Toronto Maple Leafs and the San Jose Sharks. We didn't have the Prez here, so we had to bring in Bryan.
I got a quick story about the Prez, but I'll do it after I do my handicapping of this game. Yeah, I'm going to take a look at San Jose and Toronto. It's funny that you mentioned that to Buster about that ugly game, because I'm looking at it, I kind of like that ugly game. But then he'd already taken it. So I didn't have a chance to talk about it. But San Jose and Toronto, you know, it's been a really nice season for the Sharks, who currently are tied with the Mammoth for the final playoff spot, if you can believe that. The improvement is clear, and they've done a very nice job in the NHL draft. And as you would expect, because they've been so lousy over the last few years, they've got some really good draft picks. But like most young teams, they perform much better at home than they do on the road. They're 9-5-3 at home, but just 5-9-0 on the road. Despite playing 3 more games in San Jose, they've been outscored by 16 goals on the season. So don't get your hopes up too much to make the playoffs in San Jose if you're a fan of the Sharks. But they are pointed in a nice direction, and they're very competitive just about every night when they go out there. You know, early in the year, their defense and goaltending let them down. But now it's the offense, especially when they go on the road. They've only scored 12 total goals their last 8 road games. And if you've been watching our friend Prez, when he's been on the show for the last couple of weeks, he's been talking about this Toronto defense and the goaltending. He's made a ton of money playing the under. And Toronto's thought of as a poor defensive team coming into the season with bad goaltending, but with the loss of some key scoring, they now have emphasized the defense, and they're a much better team for doing so. They're permitting just 11 goals in their last 7 games. This team's playing really well defensively, and the better defense has also showed up in the standings as the Maple Leafs continue to fight back from a horrendous start. And because Toronto is having success with the way they're playing right now, and they're playing a team with an offensive slump, I think this is going to be a lower scoring game. There's 6.5s out there right now. I'm going to play that under the total. San Jose is not scoring right now, and Toronto is playing very good defense, and the goaltending has been terrific. I think it'll be one of those games where somebody gets an early lead, take a little bit of air out of the puck or out of the ball, but we got to figure out what that's called in hockey. I don't know. I always say that, but yeah, give me the under in this one.
Brian, you know what it's called? It is called taking the freeze out of the pucks. Because you know how they have the pucks iced like crazy, right? So so they don't bounce on the ice. When they put in fresh pucks, and I've seen a couple times where the puck is not frozen before the game, that puck will bounce on the ice, which is the worst for like defensemen who are trying to get the puck on and it comes up on its end and you just can't get that proper shot up, or you get those flutter balls like they used to do in what was that movie? The Mighty Ducks, where he flips it on his edge and he makes the puck do that thing. So rubber pucks that have not been frozen, that is like taking the air out of the ball, a la Tom Brady just before the Super Bowl. But I digress.
Deflate gate. It's like frozen gate.
Brady, no.
Frozen
The
gate.
New England Patriots, they never cheated at all. Yes, I am a suffering Buffalo Bills fan. I am allowed to vent every once in a while. Dan Alexander, Brian, we were having a chat yesterday, me, him, and Andrew, and I just kept saying, Dan's like, this, anything short of making the Super Bowl for the Buffalo Bills would be a disappointment the way it's been set up for them, because I think that Denver and New England, I'm not going to call them frauds, but I don't think they're built right now to make a deep run in the playoffs. The only problem is the Bills have to go on the road, and they're not a very good road team in the playoffs. So,
welcome to NFL Today on the NHL Network.
Yes, I'm just going to suffer once again. Yes, imagine being a Bills and Sabres fan. Like how I'm not like medicated and have empty bottles of wine on my desk is beyond me right now.
Show us your desk. Show us your desk. Maybe you do. Maybe he does.
He's pulling the Tokyo brand and he's got some Red Bull or something on the side.
I have some healing ointment that's for the dry skin, and I have Sid the kid back there who's going to whack me one of these days with that with the thing. But Brian, you know, I joked around about liking the over in this game. It's not that I'm joking around about it. I just think the Leafs have done such a great job of keeping their teams at bay that there's going to be like one of those breakout games where the Sharks just play an open game and try and suck the Leafs into playing that type of game, and we'll maybe see some goals. I'm not going to get to the window on it. It's just because it's just an opinion. And it's one that it goes contrary to what we're seeing from Toronto right now. And the press has been cashing on those. Brian, I'm going to keep you around because Andrew and you are going to talk about the Vegas Golden Knights.
Before we get into that one. For those that don't know, because we have to put up the graphics and everything, before we do the show, Carmine asked us who we're going to use as our play. And so I sent in San Jose at Toronto, and like 15 minutes later, I don't hear from Prez. Prez has called me like twice in the last 2 years. He calls me up. First thing out of his mouth, you're not going to have a play on San Jose, are you? And I says, no, I like the under. And he goes, oh, okay. I'll talk to you later. Basically, that was the extent of it. It's because he's such a Toronto fan and he knows I do so well in underdogs. He thought I was going to give out the opposite of his team, and it was freaking him out. So I calmed him down a little bit, and we were able to go on with our days. But yeah, that's the problem about being a fan, is you jump to conclusions things like that. You know, because I hate it when any of us go against each other, you know. But it happens. We all handicap differently.
Yeah, and he is on a plane right now, or he's at Pearson Airport in Toronto. He's getting ready, or he's on a flight already on his way to Whistler for skiing with another buddy of mine and his, a couple of guys. And Andrew, I feel sorry for the poor bastard who's sitting beside him. It just, how long is this flight? Because Prez is just going to talk about how great he is in the NHL.
Yeah. Well, you know, Prez needed a vacation here, guys, right?
Oh, yeah, it's been a month, hasn't it?
Yeah, he needed to get away somewhere. So
listen, when you put in a hard, 7 to 8 minutes every single or twice a week, you need a 7-day break, at least to go skiing. So it's
For a
it's
minute
tough,
there, I
but,
thought you were getting back to the Blue Chew comment.
Yeah, I was gonna say I put in a hard 7 to 8 minutes last night, but I guess that's
oh, the stories I have, the
Oh,
stories I
thanks
have.
again, us old guys excited.
So, Bryan, Andrew, come on, man. Carter Hart, do the Vegas Golden Knights start him tonight? Vegas is 154, Philly plus 126. The total sits here at 5.5. Andrew, I'm going to go to you first, and then I want to hear from Bryan, or you guys can go split screen, the two of you guys, and discuss this game.
All right, Carm, get out of here. Get that garbage out of here, like they say in Toronto. All right, Bryan. Do you think that overall there was a big issue with the goaltending with the Vegas Golden Knights? Because I was on a show and the Hockey News, I've been doing some guest shows with them and it's been really fun. And I was the host, but I of course I still had to give my opinion on it. I was asking the different panelists how many games they thought Carter Hart would play through the remainder of this season. And of course, I think all that has to do with how well he's going to play.
Mm-hmm.
But I remember, and I'm not trying to be the pat myself guy, that I don't think it was really a hot take. I remember saying when you were on the show a couple weeks ago, before he made his debut, he's going to go on a run. He's going to do extremely well. And several other teams are going to wish that they picked him up, and now you look at the record that he has, Bryan. He is not just winning games, but also has a really good save percentage. Looks like he hasn't missed much time. Now he's kind of got an opportunity here, I think, in a good opportunity where it's going to be against a low event team. Like it's his former team, but it's a low event team. Philadelphia, they don't really create a lot of high offense chances. Now they're coming off a win against San Jose. I was actually on Philly in regulation, my first regulation bet of the season, actually. But I like the under here. You just talked about an under you liked, even though it's an extended road trip for Vegas. It's only been a couple games, I guess. I like the under in this one. I think that we're going to see kind of two teams battle it out defensively, and I just don't really trust the output of offense that Philadelphia has to offer. So, two-parter for you. How many games do you think that we see from Carter Hart? Is he all of a sudden going to be the number one guy? And what do you think about my under thought on tonight's game?
I can't say that he's going to be the number one guy. I'd be more concerned when they get Aiden Hill back that they don't keep him. Now they may trade him at that point, but Schmidt has been so good. I don't see how he's going to lose the number one at this point. In fact, last time I was on here, I believe I played the under in the game, and I expected Schmidt to play because Hart had played the night before or the game before. And maybe they gave him an extra day, but that would not bear that. I would think Schmidt would be in the lineup today. I can't believe they would leave him out for 3 straight games. I haven't heard any injury situations there. If they do play Hart again today, it would be a surprise to me. But I understand why, he'd like to play there. But Vegas right now they're getting a lot more credit than what they deserve. I'm not sure if I'm looking to play on them at this point. To be honest with you, I've had a tough time with them and the Florida Panthers in the last week. Just having the things that I expected to happen have somewhat happened, but I've been losing these games by like a half a goal or that kind of thing. So I don't have a lot of opinion on tonight's game, but I do love it when they play Philadelphia because I like the fan support they get in Philadelphia. A great crowd of guys there like they do at all the original 5 and back in the East areas. So looking forward to that. But right now, I hate to be committed to a certain opinion about the Knights because I haven't been good lately.
Bryan, I will say this because while you and Andrew were talking, I was checking some of the news outlets, and with regards to the morning skate, Carter Hart was out there for the morning skate, but by all indications, he is not the starter tonight in goal. He'll be on the bench in a backup role. So I think we go back to Akira Schmid. Yeah, I pronounced that right. So we'll see him in goal, which bodes well for the Vegas Golden Knights and probably that price on them, which is minus 154. So we'll see what we get out of them. Bryan, what do you have to promote over at WagerTalk? Because I believe you, my friend, also have a very strong play going tonight.
I do. we are off a losing day, and that's been a rarity lately. Went 2-3 yesterday. Love the card today. We've got 3 plays up the NHL, 1 in college basketball, and one of my NHL plays is a 5%. It's only the second 5% we've had this month. I don't put out very many of them, and I hope it's not. Well, it won't be the same as Andrew's because it's not a team total; it's a side in the game. We play a lot more sides than anything else. But loving the game today, a 5% play, and like was talked about earlier with Buster, if you want to grab that 3-day package, you're getting at least 2 full days of hockey. With 2 games on Friday, I haven't handicapped them yet. I'm not going to make a commitment that I'm not going to have a play on them, but chances are I will not, which would put you over to the Thursday, Saturday, Sunday, which is a pretty good deal. I won't have anything unless it's at least a 4% on Friday, and chances are that's not going to happen. But I can't make that promise. We're in it to grind for the season, and I've got a lot of guys that have seasonal packages with me and long term, so I can't guarantee that, but that's the better way to play this. You get all my plays tonight. I think normally it costs like $39 for 1 day. You get everything for 3 days for $44. That's a better deal.
God bless you, Bryan. I'm looking forward to you coming up and watching the Cleveland Guardians getting absolutely spanked by the future World Series champion Toronto Blue Jays next April. It is going to be a fun time, and that's pretty much at the end of the regular season, Andrew. I think that game is the 24th. The regular season ends usually about the second week of April, and then we're into the playoffs. So maybe the Prez will spring for some NHL tickets, and we can go and watch a playoff game or so. We shall see. But
if they make the playoffs,
well, he did tell me on the phone yesterday. He did tell me on the phone yesterday. He goes, "Oh, I hear you're coming from Toronto, or coming up to Toronto." I go, "Yeah." He goes, "I'll have to show you my house." If that doesn't tell you Prez, I don't know what does.
Yeah.
I'll have to show you my house. All right.
Just remember,
I look forward to going out to dinner with you.
That's right. That's right. I look forward to seeing. No, I got to show you my house. It's really nice.
Yeah. Whatever. Listen, good luck, Bryan, man. We appreciate you coming on and doing all these guest spots. Best of luck with your plays. And straight right through the weekend as well, too, because I know you got a lot of stuff in action. So best of luck to you, my friend.
Thanks, guys. Good luck.
See you, Bryan. We're hoping for a 3. We got a lot of pressure on the PuckTime panel today here. Yeah. Carm hit a 5% earlier this week already. Buster has one, you have one, and I have one going all in one night. So the first step is hoping there's nothing conflict-wise, because if they're conflict-wise, we're screwed.
You and I aren't. I know that.
Okay. The second step is let's cash all of our tickets. I look forward to it. Have a good night, Bryan.
Yeah.
Thank you. Take care, guys. Good luck.
Andrew, it's funny because one of our guys in the chat, and we still have a few minutes before we do the same game parlay and the pod and close this out. But Jeffrey's like, just don't go into Prez's basement. But LOL, whatever. You know, the funny thing is Friday, he hosted a poker tournament, a cash game for a bunch of his friends, a bunch of my friends or what have you. And the basement is where he has a separate room where his office is set up that you guys see. A great recording area. But the poker table, just above the poker table, I look up and I see there's like these things hanging from it. And I'm like, what the hell are those? I didn't want to say anything. It just seemed like something out of like a dungeon or what have you. And I was just, it reminded me of, and the old guys who live in New York might know this. I went to New York. This is like 20 plus years ago, Andrew, with a friend of mine. And she says, oh, we're going to go to this place at night. It's a club called The Vault. Let me tell you, it cost $40 cover for the guys to get in there. It was free for girls. I walked in, and the minute I walked in, I had to walk back out again. The Vault is not a club. The Vault is one of those S&M kind of places. So if you've been to New York, yeah, it's not what you want to do. But I always thought The Vault was a little different. With that said, Andrew, I don't know how I got there. It is time to bring
you have
your threesome of plays together, the same game parlay. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say, you have to tell people what you said before the show in our Slack.
Yes, let's keep it on pace. Let's talk about hockey. We have a tight timeline, and Carmen talking about the vault in New York. It's what it is.
You know what? It's when someone says I have to show you my house, and then a commenter says, stay away from the basement. I guess that's probably the road that we end up going down when you're looking at that stuff. So, all right, you know what, Carm? I've just got 2 picks that I like for NHL. As far as prop parlays are concerned, and it's one from each team. It is a plus 135 same game parlay. It is 2 players, Kirill Marchenko to get a point and Drake Batherson to get a point. Those 2 guys together, that's plus 134. That's Ottawa Senators versus the Columbus Blue Jackets. Marchenko has a really good run going right now, and Batherson is a good head-to-head matchup guy against Columbus. Carm, my new thing, and it's not really new, but I'm mostly just focusing on this when it comes to the points, is head-to-head stuff. Like sometimes certain players, for whatever reason, they play better against other teams, certain teams. I was going to ask you today on the show, do you notice that ever in soccer? Is that a soccer thing sometimes too? Or like where for whatever reason in the certain derby, this guy always scores, or against this certain team, this player scores. Like for whatever reason, Drake Batherson goes over on shots. He scores. He gets points. He does very well against the Columbus Blue Jackets. So Marchenko and Batherson together, both to get a point, is plus 134. Not too bad.
Yeah, no, you see it. Hockey, I think, Andrew, more than anything else, you see it and we see it here in Toronto. There are so many players that were born and raised in this area in different suburbs, whether it be north of Toronto or what have you, Richmond Hill, where Bennington is from. But as far as the players go, where they're making their first or second appearance and they have so many family members and friends at the game, they want to score. They want to get shots on goal. And sometimes those are the ones you have to take advantage of. Again, it's knowing that going in. It would be the same thing as someone going into, some of the other icons of NHL arenas, like Madison Square Gardens, who grew up in New York and is coming in playing for another team, and all of his family and friends are there. What does that guy want to do? Does he want to play a defensive game? He wants to play a good game, but he wants to get shots on goal. He wants to score. And sometimes the coach understands that in a game in which might be out of hand already, that guy's getting a little extra ice time as well too, which always helps. That's one of the biggest things with shots on goal props is you want to make sure your guy is getting ice time. If he's only getting 11 minutes, you're not going to get there on some of these over 2.5s. Andrew, I wish you the luck on that pod play. On that same game parlay. The pod play, I might be asleep by the time this game rolls around. I am going to the last game of the night, and I am taking the over in the first period between the Buffalo Sabres and Vancouver Canucks. It is 1.5 minus 130 is that number. We need to get a win here, boys, and this is how we're going to get it. We'll see who the starting goalies are as of now. For TJ Salvador, who's normally in the chat, it's Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen, likely for the Buffalo Sabres. And I think making his return finally off the injury list. He came off the IR yesterday. If I'm correct, it is Thatcher Demko who likely could start his first start. Andrew, we saw when he came back from an injury last year, his first couple of starts weren't the sharpest ones for him. I'm hoping these two teams can score some goals. The Sabres 9-4 with first period overs on the road this season, 7-3 their last 10 games with first period overs. Over 1.5 minus 130 is the pod play for today, Andrew. 2 plays up in soccer for me today. I swept the board yesterday with all my plays. 2 plays up in soccer. The Europa League Europa League tournament going on right now, and 2 plays up in the NHL, including a best bet selection as well. To yesterday's 4% best bet, it was 3-3, 4 minutes into the second period, over 6. That was an easy winner. Didn't even have to watch the rest of that game. So with that said, Andrew, that's what I have. Guys, pick up that $49 play, $49 package. We're number 2 in the at WagerTalk in the NHL. Number 1, the last 3 days, 7 days, 30 days. We're on a good run in the NHL. Let's keep it going. Andrew, promote yourself one last time and take us out.
Carm, you are rolling, as old school Prez would say. Guys, don't forget that 3-day pass. Use it for Carm. He's doing really, really well. And for me, don't bother with the 5% play. Just grab this 3-day pass. That's the way to go. This is the best idea. And I think it's a really, really good play and one that I've thought out for a couple of days now. It's a good scheduling spot and a good statistical spot as well. Let's make some money in the NHL tonight. Guys, I don't usually like asking for likes on videos. If you've made it this far, it's been a real productive show. Hit the like button. Let's try and get to 175 likes at least. At least. If you guys care about us, we'll get 275, but we'll see that for another day. 5% play, guys. Buster has one, Bryan has one, and Carmine has been rolling. Make sure you grab that 3-day deal. Best of luck, guys. That will do it for Puck Time for today. We'll see you Friday morning, same time, same place.